If you are naive enough to think that the pause to SNAP benefits on November 1st isn't going to affect you because you don't receive food stamps, I want you to hear this. About 1 in 8 Americans receive SNAP benefits. In fact, in Oklahoma, where I live, that's 1 in 6 people. So about 600,000 people in my state alone, Oklahoma, receive SNAP benefits. About 1 in 4 children in the U.S. receive SNAP benefits. But you're not one of those people, so you don't care, but hang with me. When those benefits go away, just about $9 billion in grocery spending vanishes. So you've got to be thinking about not just the grocery stores being able to stay open and pay their employees, but you have to think about the entire supply chain, trucks on the road, people who provide food to these grocery stores. $9 billion. Every dollar spent in SNAP benefits adds about $1.50 to $1.80 to the economy. So cutting those benefits isn't saving that dollar, it's taking away that $1.50 to your local economy. But you don't receive SNAP benefits, you don't work for a grocery store, you don't drive a truck, you don't give a shit. But when all of those things happen, the only way to combat that is to drastically increase the price of groceries. Grocery prices are already up over 3% in 2025 alone, which is almost an entire percentage higher than the average increase in grocery prices over the last 20 years. I thought they were supposed to go down day one though. So even if SNAP benefits only pause for 1 month, which by the way would be detrimental to all the people I mentioned before that you don't give a shit about, it will cost the economy roughly $13 to $14 billion in profit. And you can expect your grocery prices in just that 1 month to go up at least 1%. And states will stand to lose about $300 to $500 million in sales tax revenue. So even if you do not receive SNAP benefits, you never have, you never will, you do not want these to be paused on November 1st.
For the month of November.
Y'all, I just read my email from DHS last night. And that just said even if you have food stamps left on your card November the 1st, they system's not going to be accepting it at the store. So you need to go on and get shelf-able food now that can last you from November and beyond. Hey, just a word being put out. Hey, yeah, that's some crazy work, G. That's some crazy work. If you have food stamps, do not be trying to save them on y'all card until next month for Thanksgiving or none of that, because you are not going to be able to use them. November the 1st, they not finna be accepting them cards at the store. You have to go on and get your food and stuff now. That's wild, bro. That's wild. But hey, I'm just a messenger.
With the holiday season around the corner, the Thanksgiving around the corner, I'm sure there are some people that were saving up the funds on these cards to say, maybe I want to use them in November. So this lady says that you won't be able to use the funds on those cards. So you have to utilize now. You have to get something that you can shelf for some time. That's what she said. So I don't know. You can fact check that if that's the case in the comment section.
To me, the only logical response to the government canceling SNAP benefits is for Americans to cancel the holiday season. Close the wallets. Close the wallets. You don't need to buy a turkey. You've had turkeys for the last how many years? You're good to skip a year. Black Friday hasn't Black Friday and I don't know how long. The deals suck. You don't need a new flat screen. You already got one from last year. Your kids have tablets, they have toys, they have electronics. They'll be good to miss out on 1 year. They'll be okay. Close the wallets. Cot boy. You know? We shouldn't be spending any money then. It makes no sense for, in response to the government taking food off people's tables, for us to then open our wallets and continue the economy as if nothing is wrong. It's time for a cop boy of the holiday season. The time of year where corporations make the most money, yeah, shut it down. Close the wallets.
It's around this time that most of these corporations, the companies, make a lot of money because everyone just wants to spend money on their families, on their kids, on their wives, on their girlfriends. So, you know, like people open up, like they spend like it's their last time. They spend their even last money. It's around this time that corporations do make a lot of money. So this lady says that in response to SNAP benefits being cancelled for the month of November, in which it is the month where we have the Thanksgiving and also Black Friday. So there's so much, Amazon makes so much money on that day. So now this lady says, you know what, you close the wallet as a response to the cancellation of SNAP benefits.
The latest information I have on how the government shutdown might affect your SNAP benefits. The USDA has released a memo stating that they are not going to use contingency funds, no emergency funds, to fund SNAP through the shutdown. Two Congresspeople, Miller Meeks and Hawley, have introduced legislation to fund SNAP through the shutdown, but we don't know when they will get to vote on that because the House is not in session. And if the Senate votes to do that, then they might allow a vote in the House on it. This is in addition to the following information we already have: that SNAP is not currently funded for November, and if the government shutdown continues, November benefits will not be issued until the government reopens. And there is still uncertainty as to whether or not funds you may have tried to leave on your card to budget for November, or that might just be on your card because you don't get your benefits till very late in October, will be usable in November. At least one of the banks that processes those funds has said that unless the federal government guarantees reimbursement of those funds, they may shut down those purchases at the point of sale terminals. The governor of Virginia, and I don't know if any other states have done this, apparently has declared a state of emergency in order to release funds for food assistance, but it's unclear whether or not that means SNAP. That may mean some other sort of food assistance. That's a whole lot of uncertainty, and we don't know.
We have a lady that does or has some experience working for so she has, I think, explained the wolf, and I think the information is vital, but everyone is aware of what's going on, and hence the panic. There's so much panic. Actually, there are actually women who are saying that they're gonna start stealing. Some are even saying that if you see them doing that, you should look the other way. Come on, are we allowing the stealing now?
This morning I called my local DSS office and I asked them to confirm whether or not what I was hearing was true, knowing it was true, that SNAP benefits are not coming next month. And she said, yeah, no, you're right, they're not coming. I said, okay, well, I hadn't heard anything, confirming what I'm hearing, so I was just calling to check. And she said, you're not going to hear anything. And I said, well, why? And she said, well, your local DSS are trying to figure out what's going on, but the state DSS is not planning on telling anybody what's going on. They're not planning on letting the citizens know that they're not going to get their food stamps next month. She also said that this would likely go on into December, that we will likely not get December's SNAP benefits. So that's great. That's lovely. So I'm coming to TikTok in hopes that there is an answer here. I don't know what the answer could be. I don't know what the solution could be. I don't know if is it mutual aid? Is it mutual aid? Do we all need to come together and start pooling our money and help these families like myself, like my mother, like my grandmother, who don't have the money to replace those benefits, who don't have the income to replace those benefits? What do we do? Because there are children, there are elderly, there are disabled people who do not have the money. And I have 3 children. And I have to feed them. The last time I came on here and talked to you guys about the SNAP benefits, I was full on crashing out. I'm not crashing out this time. I'm scared, but I'm fucking angry.